Hi guys, welcome to the my YouTube channel Learn with Uday. Uh, it's been a long time. I didn't record the session due to my busy schedule. So today I started the I continued the module 2 uh, from the point where we left. So we discussed about the basic terminologies, hacking concepts, MITRE attack types, FCs. So let's start from the cyber kill chain. So basically, cyber kill chain methodology, it's a component that is designed by the Martin Lockheed. So this is the intelligence driven defense for identification and prevention of malicious intrusion activities. It helps us to identify the steps that the threat actor follow in order to accomplish their goals. Basically, cyber kill chain is a framework which is developed for securing the cyber space based on the concept of military kill chains. Uh, this helps us to enhance the intrusion detection and the response activity. It includes the 7 phases, which helps us to protect and to mitigate and reduce the cyber threats. So, as per the Martin Lockheed, cyber attack may occur in 7 different phases, starting from recon to the final stage, which is the action and objective. So, let's understand the cyber kill chain. The 7 phases are recon, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, and action and objective. So, let's start from the recon. So, in the reconnaissance, basically this cyber kill chain framework is based on the military, so that's why I prefer to use these types of pictures in the slides. So in the recon, the threat actor basically perform the reconnaissance to collect as much information as possible about the target, to find out the weak points before the actual attack. So they look for the information such as publicly available information on the internet. He can gather the information about the target organization by searching on the internet or through social engineering. He can perform analysis of various online activities and publicly available information. He can gather information from the social network sites and web services. He can get the information about the websites via visiting that sites. So he can perform WHOIS DNS and network footprinting. So he can also perform the active scanning, which is used to identify the open ports and services. So the next stage is weaponization. In weaponization, the threat actor perform analysis on the data collected in the previous stage, which is reconnaissance, to identify the vulnerabilities and techniques to be used to exploit and gain the unauthorized access to the target organization. uh, in this in this phase, in weaponization, the threat actor identify the appropriate malware payload based on the analysis. He can create a new payload, or he can select, reuse, or modify the available payloads based on the identified vulnerability. He can create a phishing campaign. He can leverage the exploit kits and botnets. The next phase is delivery. In delivery, once the weapon is created, in the weaponization state, which is in this phase, the malicious payload is transmitted to the victims. It can be as an email attachment, or it can be via malicious link on the website or vulnerable web application, or it can be transmitted through the USB drive. So in the delivery stage, what threat actor will do, he can send the phishing email to the employee of the target organization. He can distribute using the USB drives, which contain the malicious payload, to the employee of the target organization. He can perform attack such as watering hole on the compromised websites. He can implement the various hacking tools against the operating system, application, and service of the target organization. The next stage is exploitation. After the weaponization, after when the weapon is transmitted to the victim machine, exploitation triggers the attacker malicious code to exploit the vulnerability in the operating system, application, server, or on the target system. So what attacker will do in this stage, he can exploit the software or hardware vulnerability to gain remote access to the target system. So the next stage is installation. The threat actor downloads and install the malicious software on the target system to maintain access to the target network for extended period of time, which is comes in the persistent. What attacker will do in this stage, he can download and install the malicious software such as backdoor. He can gain remote access to the target system, leveraging the various methods to keep backdoor hidden and running, maintaining access to the target system. So the next stage is, from here he can later movement to the other systems to further compromise the other systems. So the next stage is command and control. In this stage, the attacker establish the two-way communication channel between the victim system and the threat actor controlled server. He can leverage the channels such as web traffic, email communication, DNS messages. He can apply privilege escalation technique. He can like hide the evidence of the compromising using the techniques such as encryption. The last stage, which is the action on objective. In this stage, the threat actor controls the victim systems from the remote location, and he finally accomplishes the intended goal. The adversary gain access to the confidential data, disrupts and services or network, or destroy the operational capability of the target by gaining access to the network and compromise the more system, which I already told you about the later movement. So also the threat actor may use this as a launching point to perform an other attack. So let's discuss the use cases, how we can identify, how we can detect this activity one by one in each phase. So let's discuss the scenario of spear phishing, which is, this is the case study. So spear phishing attack is faced by most of the organization these days. Basically the attacker use this as a initial, you can say that's initial access. He can, instead of sending thousands of email, most of the threat actor used spear phishing by using the specialized social engineering content, which direct to specific employee or small group of employees in the particular organization to steal the sensitive data such as financial information and trade secrets. So let's discuss how we can detect, how we can create the use cases in our environment, in our SOC environment, to detect the threat actor activities on different phases. In reconnaissance, basically, uh, in reconnaissance, the threat actor gather the different types of information like contact details from the social networking websites such as Facebook, LinkedIn, and he can use this information to further attempts to further find out the vulnerabilities, open ports, and different types of information in the reconnaissance. Which is the next phase is weaponization. Threat actor which basically create the deliverable payload using the exploit and a backdoor. In this phase, the threat actor draft the phishing email which with attached malicious payload. So the next phase is, here we can detect the the threat actor activity, which is delivery. In delivery, he sends the phishing email to the target employee. So how we can detect this activity? We can create a use case which to identify the suspicious attachments, like including the password in the email message, or we can create a use case to identify the suspicious file types downloads. So this will help us to detect this activity. So the next phase is exploitation. In exploitation, the executable file might be executed, which then install the several files in the root folder or modify the registry key for persistent. He can basically take advantage of unmatched vulnerability in the target system to escalate the privileges. So how we can detect this activity? To create a use case on the execution of malicious program, basically which is not authorized in the environment. So the next phase is installation. In installation, the advisory basically spreads the infection to the other end systems in the network. So how we can detect this activity? We can detect the suspicious proxy servers. We can detect the creation of new program which is not authorized in the environment, or we can detect based on the huge network traffic. uh, so in this way we can detect the installation of the threat actor. The next phase is command and control. uh, in this phase, the threat actor establish the two-way communication channel between the compromised system and the threat actor server, command and control server. So how we can detect this activity? We need to find out the outbound communication. We need to create a use case to identify the large amount of data being sent outside to the environment. Whenever the domain is accessed from inside to the outside, which is malicious. So in this way we can create a use case for to the C2 communication. So the next phase is action on objective. In this phase, basically the threat actor collects the file using the file sharing on the main computer and encrypts those files in an archive form, and then he can transfer this archive form to the target system to drop some servers through the organization's proxy server. So how we can detect this activity? Usage of admin privileges. We can detect the archive files, and we can create a use case to detect the activity of using the same credentials on the multiple system in a short time. So in this way we can detect this activity. I hope you understand the cyber kill chain phases and cyber kill chain framework and the case study we discussed in this. So for the analysis of the sphere phishing email, you guys can read my blog as well. I have written a blog on analysis of spear phishing email. If you feel difficulty to analyze the phishing email, you can read this blog and it will help you. It will help you a lot. So thank you for your time. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel. So whenever I will get time, I will record videos inshallah. So thank you till now. Bye bye.